I have to start this video out laughing, man, and I will explain to you guys here in just a moment. Before I dive into the video, of course, I'm gonna remind you, man, subscribe, cut on your notifications, and definitely hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up. It doesn't cost you anything to do that. Boy, were you guys killing me in my last video, man. You guys may have seen the video I posted, just giving my initial thoughts of what I saw in the trailer and what I was looking for. Again, I look for unique things when I'm watching a trailer. I wanted to see how the player interaction was, how the player movement was, and that's really all I focused on and all I honed in on. And I still stick to what I said. I do see positives in this trailer. I still need to see this game in action though, okay? I still need to see this game in action because, of course, there are two situations that you're going to see here in this trailer, you know, the DB and wideout interactions that appear to look very similar to how they look in Madden 20, which makes me wonder how they got to that animation. Were they shifted together like they are in Madden 20 with the two-man animation? Or are we seeing them at the catch point and that animation just happened to trigger? I don't know. I kind of feel like it looks like a two-man animation, and if two-man animations are still prevalent in this game to that degree, oh, I will have a lot to say, because that completely counters what was advertised to us before we saw this information here that you see it on the screen. But basically, this is a deeper dive into what they told us beforehand, right? What they told us beforehand as far as the leaked information that was in the description of their previous video. They said that you would have like uncanny control, and you know both the defense and the offense would be able to pull off unique moments, etc., etc. And what did you hear me say? That is all going to depend on how the players interact. It will all depend on if two-man animations are extremely powerful in the game. It also will depend on how one-to-one interactions are in open field, how players move, and things of that nature will all determine these so-called new things that you can pull off on the defensive or offensive side of the ball, right? So I still need to see that play out. And like I said, seeing those two situations where the the DB and wideout interaction sequences that we saw there in the trailer, it makes me feel like those are the same two-man animations we see in Madden 20. We need to see. But on paper, I like what's being said here. You know, of course, skill stick, pass rush moves go without saying. They're both on the right analog stick, giving you more control. This is what they're saying. I think that's a good move, particularly in the pass rush area. But what really draws my attention, man, is this location-based tackles. Okay, because now it's basically saying offensive and defensive players will be aware of the pylon, end zone, first down markers, etc., and they will have the wherewithal to know where they are and attempt to tackle or attempt to reach out if you're on offense, etc., etc. But it makes me wonder how these contextual animations are going to play out. Are these just stagnant? And is sometimes going to be a win, sometimes there's going to be a loss based on a dice roll? These are things I still need to see. Now, why am I showing you Face of the Franchise Rise to Fame? And right about now at this part of the video, you're going to get into my disappointment. I'm going to give you a sprinkle of it here, but then I will come back and give you more of it in about a minute or two. So stick around for the whole video to hear my disappointment. But this right here has me extremely pissed off. Not so much about Face of the Franchise and they built it up and all of that, but what you don't see here is anything mentioned about standard franchise. And some people would say, well, why would you, feel like it would be mentioned here under Face of Franchise? No, I'm not saying it would be mentioned here under Face of the Franchise, but when the gridiron notes are basically highlighting gameplay features and franchise, and the only thing that you hear about franchise is Face of the Franchise, I am pissed. I'll get back to that in just a moment. Last thing I wanted to talk about really quick before I dive into my pissness from franchise. 50 new superstar and X Factor abilities? Added on to what's already in game? Adaptive AI adjustments that counter your tendencies in new ways? Gotta mix up your play calling? That one is very interesting. But the reason why I'm raising an eyebrow at the X factors and the superstar abilities and all of that is not that I don't want them. I like player differentiation. I like players being able to play like themselves. And if you got to pull it off in a badge-like system, I get it. But balance. They were not completely balanced in Madden 20. How are you going to balance 50 more? That is going to be key. Adaptive AI. You've always heard me talk about that. I want offensive and defensive players to be able to recognize and adapt to the situation per game. I know it's a gray area, especially with some of the comp guys, and I get it. Some of the sim guys are more forward, and I get it. But some people don't really know what I'm referring to when I talk about adaptive AI. I'm just talking about, again, your players diagnosing situations during the game. Okay? Diagnosing situations during the game. And not just sticking to the script, especially in zone coverage. Don't just drop back into your assignment and there's nobody on your side of the field. Look for work. Adapt to what you're seeing. Okay, if you continue to get beat with, streaks down the field and down the seam, I would like to see the safeties maybe cheat a little bit. And I understand, again, from a competitive standpoint, some of those guys are like, no, let me control that. I get it. But there needs to be some sense of adaptive AI in the game because you can't control every single player at one time. But anyway, I could talk about that forever, forever I could talk about that. But let me get into my real disappointment before this video ends. It's really simple for me, man, and I'm going to dive more into this, man, on Thursday with my brother Smitty when we do the Sim Standard show. But it's very clear and very obvious that someone who sets the priority, and what I mean by that is at the suit level, the executive level, clearly they have no interest in improving standard franchise mode. But you know why? It's because what we found out a few years ago. Franchise was doing fairly well in terms of the numbers, and that's all they look at. Oh, way more people are engaging. We even heard that from Madden 20. Way more people are engaging and playing the game for longer. So the way they internalize that is, oh, they must be happy with franchise. No, you're not listening to the community. Instead, what you continue to try to do is try to, strike lightning in a bottle by trying to, shoot for the fences. Oh, let's do long shot. That's something different. Failed. Let's put in face of the franchise. Last year it was very bare. Not a lot of people, well, I don't know. Maybe a lot of people did play it. Who knows? But it was a very bare effort. And even this year, there's still only 2 more positions that you'll be able to play, even though they're offering you more replayability, I guess, with the more college experience, et cetera, but still, it's still not as deep as it could be. It's still not superstar mode, which was once in Madden. And you can do both, by the way, because when superstar mode was in the game, oh yeah, franchise mode was deep also. You could build both of these up together. Clearly, you can build them up together. There's no reason why you couldn't do that. But it's not a priority. And I'm getting tired of it. I'm getting so sick and tired of this. Every single year, I'm sitting here guessing. It's almost embarrassing as a gamer. I got to sit here and wonder if they're going to do anything in franchise that I could be excited about. Picture that. Picture that. I became a huge Madden fan because of franchise. Think about that. Think about somebody in my position. That was my love for Madden or football game period, is being able to recreate my team and try to take a team to the Super Bowl and build a powerhouse. That's immersive. And then especially once it hit online. Once it became an online thing. But we don't get any depth in the game. And just last year we were told, I want to say Mike Young said, oh yes, we know franchise, it's going to be a priority. We're going to continue to build on it year by year. Oh, I guess what he meant was face of the franchise, I guess. The standard franchise, from the looks of it, ain't getting nothing else. All we getting is what you're seeing on the screen right there. Now, hey, I would love to be wrong, but history would show that I'm not. I'm not. That's what history would show us. History would show us that what's probably going to happen is franchise mode is going to improve, or they're going to tune what's already there. That's probably all that's going to be said. You might see, more scenarios. That's it. That's it. But none of the meat and potato stuff that we want. And if some people still don't understand the type of things that I'm talking about, these are bare essentials. Essential things to a franchise. Contract restructuring. Contract negotiations, real ones. Holdouts, things like that. Front loading, back loading. Having to play with your cap room and all of that kind of stuff. Those things still ain't there. A real scouting system like NHL actually happened to get last year. And how about coaching carousel? How about coordinators? How about a coaching staff? All of these type of things that most sports titles have. And again, Madden had these things before. That's the thing that I cannot get when anybody tries to challenge what I have to say, or Smitty, or anyone else in the franchise community that complains about these things not being there. You cannot win that argument when you can go look at a prior Madden that had all of this stuff. Soft Sports Drinks, well, I hope I'm saying his name right. Soft Drink Sports, maybe that's it, but he knows who he is if he sees this. He showed you the Madden 08 video. That was deep. And he explained to you why it was fun. And that's my point. Anytime someone wants to argue with me and say, well, things are different. No, we ain't trying to hear that. We're not trying to hear that, man. And I'm tired of it. Which is the reason why, for real, man, I'm going to be promoting other games this year in terms of franchise mode. And I'm going to try to become good at those games enough to where I can present them to you guys here on the channel. Because I am a franchise guy. I like to build teams and things like that. That's what I love to do. And I've tried to do it here with Madden to the best of my ability, but it just ain't where I need it to be. And it seems like Madden 21 is going to be the same story. So that's where my disappointment is, man. It looks like this game might actually be a better product on field, in between the lines, but yet still lacking in depth in terms of franchise mode. But again, man, if you haven't already, man, please subscribe to the channel if you like what you see here. Cut on your notifications so you're fully aware of the next video. And definitely, guys, do your boy a favor and hit that like button. Peace.